Hello student, myself HirenSir, and we will take unit number first of the ninth class. The fun they had. Really, this is the story which will take us to the world of the future where the computer will play a major role. Nowadays even we are also learning through at least technology because of the coronavirus. Let the children talk freely about how they imagine the school of future that their own children might go to. You might want to explain the ideas of the virtual reality and virtual classroom. And the virtual reality refers to reality created by the computer software. And a virtual classroom is not a real classroom, but one where learning is through computer software or the internet. The children may know what a robot is and be able to guess what a robotic teacher would be. So now let us start the first chapter, the fun they had. Here you can see the story we shall read is set in the future when the books and school as we know them will perhaps not in existence. Maybe possible what will happen in the future even we don't know today. So what we'll do here for the first stanza we shall discuss. Here the two children are there. One is Margie, and Margie has written down that night in her diary on the page headed 17th May 2157. She wrote, "Today Tommy found a real book." So now you can imagine after 100 years what will happen, because after 100 years there might not be an existence of the real book which nowadays we are learning and reading, we are using, and it has been considered as the very old book. Maybe possible Margie's grandfather once said that when he was a little boy, his grandfather told him that there was a time when all stories were printed on paper. So this is the future, because whatever nowadays we are learning in printing form or in such type of the printed media will be diminished in the future. They turned on the pages which were yellow and crinkly. Crinkly means with many folds or lines, and really it was awful funny to read words that stood still instead of the moving the way they were supposed to on a screen, because this Margie and Tommy were habituated with the mechanical teacher. Mechanical teacher means a computer teacher. A computer means. So, because in the computer generally you will find the words are moving, and here the words are stand still in the textbook. So they were amazed, they were bewildered, they were surprised. How was it possible? Because it was totally new thing for them. And then when they turned back to the page before, it had the same words on it that it had when they read it the first time. Hear the word that Guy said Tommy, "What have asked when you are though with the books, when you are with through it the books, you just throw it away. I guess our television case must have had 1,000,000 books on it, and it is good for plenty more. I wouldn't throw it away." Because in a computer only a chip, in hard disk, on a screen, you will find so many books. That is why they were perplexed and they were puzzled. That is why they want to throw it away. But she said, "Where did you find it?" in my house, he pointed out without looking because he was busy in reading, and told, in the attic. Attic means a space which is generally you will find below the roof, and generally it is used as a store room. And what's it about? Now that book was regarding the school. Margie was now scornful. Scornful means she was not interested. She was considering all this thing as worthless. It was less important. That is why we can say she was too much scornful. School? What is there to write about the school? I had school. Generally, Margie did not like the school like all of you because you all will have to work hard. You all will have to do the homework because the children are always the same of any ages. Even future children will be the same because they don't like the school because of the homework. Margie always hated school, but now she hated it more than ever because the mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test in geography, and she had been doing worse and worse until her mother had shaken her head sorrowfully and sent for the county inspector. She did not like the school because obviously the computer generating test after another test, and her score was too much less, her performance was not good. And when our performance is good, not definitely we don't like that particular thing. He was a round little man. So here it is the description, narration of that county inspector. Round little man with a red face, a whole box of the tools with dials and wires he was possessing. He smiled at Margie and gave her an apple, then took the teacher apart. Margie had hoped he wouldn't know how to put it together again, but he knew how all right. And after an hour or so, there it was again, large, black, and ugly, with a big screen on which all the lessons were shown and the questions were asked. So Margie was really dejected because of the set type of the question. Whatever the problem was regarding the computer was solved by that county inspector, and again on the display questions of the different types in front of the Margie, and that wasn't so bad. The part Margie hated most was the slot where she had to put homework. Actually, during those days, in the future, maybe they will have to provide the homework like nowadays you all are providing your homework in WhatsApp or email through. Same kind, there was a slot in which we will have to provide our homework, and that particular slot she did not like, and she always had to write them out in a punch card they made her learn when she was 6 years old, and the mechanical teacher calculated the marks in no times. In computer, when you just give the test, the report will be generated in few seconds, few moments, how much score you have done or how much score you have scored, how much marks, how many marks you have gained, everything in few minutes, few seconds only. So she didn't like. Now we will go for the fifth one. Here we can say the inspector had smiled after he was finished and patted Margie's head. He said to her mother, "It is not the little girl's fault. It is not the fault of the Margie. Mrs. Jones So Mrs. Jones was the mother of Margie and Tommy. I think the geography sector was geared a little too quick, and those things happen sometimes. I have slowed it up to an average 10 years level. So in computer generally we can speed put according to our requirement. Even we can adjust the speed of the computer of asking the questions. So here the questions speed was too much. So the county inspector told her mother that it was not the fault of the Margie, but the little bit computer was geared up. That is why the question which were being asked by the computer was too much fast. Now he had slowed it down. But Margie was disappointed. Though the county inspector had suggested her progress was satisfactory and even patted Margie's head, but she had been hoping they would take the teacher away altogether. They had once taken Tommy's teacher away for nearly a month because the history sector had blanked out completely. It will not happen in our class, my dear student. So she said to Tommy, why would anyone write about the school? Now we shall discuss the sixth one. Tommy looked at her with very superior eyes. Because it is not our kind of the school, stupid. This is the old kind of the school that they had hundreds and hundreds of years ago. He added loftily, pronouncing the word carefully, centuries ago. Loftily means when you are knowing something compared to others, your tone will be changed. That will be considered as the loftily, means in a superior way. Margie was now hurt. Well, I don't know what kind of the school there. All that time ago, she would read the book over his shoulder for a while, then said, anyway, they had a teacher. Margie really now again scornfully, yes, after all, she had a teacher. They had a teacher. Sure, they had a teacher, but it was not a regular teacher, it was a man. Now Margie was perplexed, confused. How can a man can be a teacher? Because they had learned through only a computer, a mechanical teacher, how it is possible? A man, how could a man be a teacher? Well, he just told the boys and girls things and gave them homework and asked them questions. So again she was perplexed how it is possible for him. A man isn't smart enough. Sure, he is. My father knows as much as my teacher. He knows almost as much, I betcha. Here, the informal word means bet you. I am sure. I want a strange man in my house to teach me. So Margie was hesitant that even a person with whom I am not familiar, I will not allow to teach me in my room. Tommy screamed with laughter. You don't know much, Margie. The teacher did not live in the house. They had a special building and all the kids went there and all the kids learned the same thing, sure, if they were the same age. Here Tommy laughed and told him the teacher would not come to our home, but there was a special building in the old days, according to Tommy and Margie, like we have nowadays, that is called school, and where most of the children visit there on a particular time, either in the morning or in the afternoon, and a teacher will teach a group of the kids who are approximately of the same age. But my mother says a teacher has to be adjusted to fit the mind of each boy and girl it teaches, and each kid has to be taught differently. Just the same, they didn't do it that way. Then, if you don't like it, you don't have to read the book. I didn't say I didn't like it, Margie said quickly. She wanted to read about those funny schools. They weren't even half finished when Margie's mother called Margie school. Margie looked up. Not yet, Mama, now said Mrs. John. And it is probably time for Tommy too. Margie said, Tommy, can I read the book some more with you after school? Maybe, he said nonchalantly. He walked away whistling, the dusty old books tucked beneath his arm. Margie went into the schoolroom. It was right next to her bedroom. So in future school, which type of the classroom? In our house, it was a special provided room for the mechanical teacher in the form of the computer, and it was generally next to our bedroom or the drawing room, and the mechanical teacher was on and waiting for her. It was always on at the same time every day except Saturday and Sunday. So mechanical teacher was always on the time, because after all it is a computer. They didn't miss many things. Because her mother said little girls learn better if they learned at regular hours. The screen was now lit up and said, today's arithmetic lesson is on the addition of proper fraction. Please insert yesterday's homework in the proper slot. So now it has been asked for the arithmetic question and answer which was given in the homework that has to be put into the proper slot. Here we can say that Margie did so with a sigh. She was thinking about the old school they had when her grandfather was a little boy, and all the kids from the whole neighborhood came and laughing, shouting. There was a giggling sound in the schoolyard. They were all sitting together in the classroom, going home together at the end of the day. They learned the same thing so they could help one another with the homework. They could talk about it, and the teachers were people. The mechanical teacher was flashing on the screen. When we add fraction, 1.5 and 1.4. Now Margie was thinking about how the kids must have loved it in the old days. She was thinking about the fun they had, because in the olden days, nowadays you all are enjoying, my dear students, because you can reciprocate your ideas, thoughts with one another. Even there is an emotion with the teacher, there is an attachment with the friends, classmate, which will be helpful in the future. Such type of the environment will not be found in the future, according to this textbook, according to this lesson, which is written by Isaac Asimov, a Russian writer. So in future, maybe possible your grandchildren's children might have such type of the school, and you will tell the story of your own, that we had school and we had the too much fun in our school. And we will discuss the question and answer in separate video. Thank you.